40 years I spent in people's basements, and I want to tell you about the single most expensive mistake I saw, over and over, in almost every house I walked into. It wasn't a broken part. It was a brand new air filter, the expensive kind, installed by a homeowner who thought they were doing everything right. And it was slowly strangling their furnace. I know how that sounds. You go to the hardware store, you look at the wall of filters, and there's a number printed on every one of them. The higher numbers cost more. They say things like allergen defense and premium protection. So you reach for the good one, because why wouldn't you? You're taking care of your house. Nobody walks into a store trying to buy the worst product. That number is called a MERV rating. It stands for Minimum Efficiency Reporting Value. And all it really tells you is how small a particle that filter can catch. Higher number, finer mesh, smaller particles trapped. On paper, that sounds like it can only be a good thing. More is better. Cleaner is safer. Here's what nobody puts on the box. A finer mesh is harder to pull air through. Your furnace has a blower motor in it, and that motor was designed to move a certain amount of air across the heat exchanger. Not more, not less. It was matched to the house and the system when it was installed. When you put in a filter that's too restrictive for that system, the blower can't pull what it needs. Airflow drops. And a furnace starved of airflow does not simply run a little weaker. It runs hot because the heat has nowhere to go. Think about what that actually does over time. The heat exchanger is running hotter than it was built to run. The blower is straining against resistance it was never sized for, hour after hour, every time the system kicks on. None of that shows up the day you install the filter. It shows up slowly, in where you can't see, on parts that are expensive to replace. The Department of Energy is straightforward about this. A dirty or clogged filter is one of the most common causes of heating system failure, because restricted airflow makes the system work harder and run longer to reach the same temperature. And a filter that's too fine for your system behaves the same way a dirty one does, except it starts that way, right out of the package. You didn't even get the few clean weeks. It was restrictive on day one. So you paid more for the filter. Then you paid more on your energy bill because the system ran longer. And then, somewhere down the line, you paid a lot more because something in that furnace gave out early. I watched that sequence play out in more houses than I can count. Now, the honest question. Is anyone doing this to you on purpose? Mostly, no. The filter companies are selling you a real product that does a real thing, and in the right system, a high MERV filter is a perfectly good choice. Hospitals use them, clean rooms use them, big commercial buildings use them. Those systems are built with the blower power to handle the resistance, and in a place like that, catching the finest particles genuinely matters. The product isn't a scam, it's just built for a different machine than the one in most people's basements. But here's what I'll say, and I'll say it plainly. In 40 years, I sat at a lot of kitchen tables explaining to people why their 8-year-old furnace had failed. And not one time did a homeowner say to me, "The man who sold me the filter warned me it might be too much for my system." Nobody's lying to you. They're just not telling you. And the quiet part is that a furnace that dies early is a replacement sale for somebody down the road. So let me tell you what I actually do, and what I told every customer who asked. Look at your furnace first, not the filter. There is a label or a manual, and somewhere on it the manufacturer tells you what that blower is rated for. If you can't find the paper manual, the model number is printed right on the unit, and a quick search will pull it up. That document is written by the people who built your machine. It beats anything printed on a filter box, and it beats anything I could tell you because it's specific to your system. For most standard residential furnaces, a filter in the MERV 8 to 11 range is the sweet spot. It catches dust, pollen, lint, mold spores, pet dander, the things that actually matter in a house, and it still lets your blower breathe. Once you get up above 13, you're into territory where a lot of home systems start to struggle, unless that system was specifically designed for it. So the goal isn't the highest number you can find, the goal is the right number for the machine you own. Second thing, and this is the part people skip, check it monthly. Not replace it monthly, check it. Pull it out, hold it up to a light. If light comes through easily, put it back, it's fine. If it's gray and matted and the light's blocked, replace it. A filter in a house with 2 dogs and a gravel driveway loads up in 6 weeks. A filter in a quiet apartment with no pets might go 5 months. The interval printed on the package is a guess about an average house, and your house isn't average. Your eyes will tell you more than the box ever could. Third, when you slide the new one in, look at the arrow printed on the frame. It points in the direction the air flows, which means it points toward the furnace, away from the return duct. I have pulled out backwards filters from houses where a professional installed them, so don't feel bad if you find one. It's a 5-second check that people skip because they assume it can't matter that much. It does. Installed backwards, the filter loses its structure over time, and in a bad case, it can collapse and get pulled into the blower. That's it. That's the whole thing. Check the manual, stay in the range your system was built for, look at it once a month, and mind the arrow. None of it costs more than a few dollars and a couple minutes of your time. Now I want to be careful here, because this is your house and your safety, and I'm not going to overstate what a filter can do. If your furnace is short cycling, meaning it kicks on and then shuts off again after a minute or two, over and over, a restricted filter is one possible cause, and it's worth checking first simply because it's free. But it is not the only cause, and some of the others are serious. If you smell gas, if you're seeing soot around the vents, or if your carbon monoxide detector goes off, you do not troubleshoot that yourself. You get out of the house and you call somebody licensed. I'm telling you what to look at, not telling you to open up a gas appliance. And I'll be honest about the money, because I don't like numbers that get thrown around loosely. Anyone who tells you a filter swap will cut your bill by some exact percentage is guessing, or they're selling you something. What the research actually supports is simpler, and it's enough. Restricted airflow makes your system run longer and work harder to do the same job, and a system that works harder wears out sooner. The savings are real. The exact figure depends on your house, your climate, and your system, and anybody quoting you a hard number without seeing your setup is making it up. Here's the part that took me a while to accept, back when I was young in the trade and wanted every problem to be something clever. Most of what keeps a furnace alive isn't clever at all. It's boring. It's a piece of pleated paper that costs a few dollars and 30 seconds of attention once a month. The expensive failures I got called out to were almost never caused by something exotic. They were caused by small things that nobody was watching, on systems that ran fine right up until they didn't. So go look at yours. Not later, now, before you forget. Pull the filter out, check the arrow, hold it up to the light, and look at the number in the corner. If it's a 15 sitting in a standard home furnace, you just found something worth fixing, and it cost you nothing to find it. The next thing I want to walk you through is the thermostat setting that people are absolutely certain saves them money, the one nearly everybody swears by. The way most folks use it, it does the exact opposite. That one surprises people, and it might be costing you more than any filter ever could. I'm Hank. Go check your filter.